Great, thank you. Hi, everyone. So for today, Tropilunch, we have Dr. Marlliz Arteaga and her colleagues that are going to talk about transdisciplinary participatory research. And Dr. Arteaga is an environmental and social scientist dedicated to advancing sustainable development, conservation, and community well-being in the Amazon. She earned a degree in environmental engineering in Bolivia, followed by a master's in sustainable development and practice and a PhD in interdisciplinary ecology from the University of Florida. For her research, she uses a political ecology approach to study environmental governance in Amazonian communities through integrating science, policy, and local knowledge through collaborative and transdisciplinary methods. She is the general coordinator of the Transdisciplinary Participatory Research Program in the Bolivia Amazon under the Tropical Conservation and Development Program at UF. She is also an associate researcher at the Universidad Amazónica de Pando, where she contributes to international initiatives through the Science Panel for the Amazon, the Sustainable Development Solutions Network, and the Women in Science networks such as OWSD, 500 Mujeres Científicas, and Women in Conservation of Latin America and the Caribbean. So with that, Marlliz, I give you the floor so you can start your presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Can you see me and hear me well? Yes? Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here and see all the new faces. Hello to everyone. So today's presentation is gonna be focusing on the products that we've been generating in the past 10 months. But yeah, I just want to mention that even though my name is in here, so I have like a lot of people, you know, that was part of this, and without them this wouldn't be possible. Oh wait, yeah. So what we're gonna share today is first a little bit of the program background, then the results. Then my colleague Cecilia Sanginez, she's gonna talk a little bit about the field experience because she was the one who accompanied the students over there, and it was an amazing time for her and also for the students. And then we're gonna share a little bit about the products. We are not gonna go in depth into the products, but we're just gonna show you briefly what we've been developing in the past months. So as a background, so I want to share this slide. You can see like all the people who were involved, but also we have even more than that. This is just, you know, the main characters, but also we have like many others who help in one way or another. We have like professors from the University, Universidad Amazónica de Pando, from the UF, students, grad students, undergrad students, but also we have partners with the different NGOs in Bolivia. We partner with community leaders and community organizations in there. And also some other Amazonian universities in Bolivia. So as you can see, it was like a huge, big effort from different people, actors, and places. So it's a little bit of background. So this project was a winner project from the 10K Strong in the Americas Innovation Fund, and basically this fund will help in strengthening higher education in different parts, and also, you know, increase student training and exchange opportunities between universities and among different places. So our research area was focused on the Upper Madeira River Basin. This is a very impacted area by 3 different hydroelectrics dams. 2 have been built already in Brazil, and 2 are in a planned phases. One is going to be a binational between Bolivia and Brazil, and the other is going to be in the Bolivian territory. So we've been researching this area since 2016, and most of these colleagues that are involved in this practically second cohort of research have been part of this from the beginning. Also the communities, the community leaders, and some NGOs. So we focus, in this case, we focus the research in two states in Bolivia, in Pando and Beni, three communities in Pando and three communities in Beni. And all of them, alongside the river, the Madeira River. So the objective were basically training undergrad students on how to do transdisciplinary research, addressing the social and environmental needs in this area, especially the ones that have been happening caused by the infrastructure, by the dams. So, and we had like four different objective. The first was train the undergrad students from the UAP, from the Universidad Amazónica de Pando, in research methodologies, and we did this through virtual sessions, and then conduct research with the students, but also strengthen their English language, so they had the opportunity to have 2 semesters of English, reaching level A1, which is a great achievement for people who live in the Amazon. The third one is it was the academic cultural exchange of UF researchers and UAP. And UAP, first we have like a couple of researchers from here going to the UAP, and I will explain that later. And we had a second part, but unfortunately we didn't had the opportunity to do it, was like bringing the students who did the research to the UF. And at the end, my colleague Andrea will touch briefly about that. So why it didn't happen and what we could do to prevent these things to happen in the future. Then number 4, could develop products for the communities and academics. And this presentation will be focusing on this fourth objective, like showing you what we collectively co-develop. So first, we form 5 different research teams, and each team has at least 6 members. The first one were the undergrad students from the Universidad Amazónica de Pando, and they had their own UAP advisor, but also they have a UF mentor, and these mentors were postdoc students or postdocs or PhD students who support the UAP students all the way through. They also have external mentors, and these external mentors were part of our partners. They were like researchers from the NGOs that I showed you at the beginning, but also something that we really think was very, very important is having the community leaders and the community-based organizations being part of each research team, because we really make sure that everything that we did from the beginning, from doing the preliminary research until the very end with the products. So the community leaders were the ones who approve the final version of the things, because we really want the results help them in whatever way they feel this will be a good fit for them. Then of course the coordinators from UAP and UF, and also we have support from different UF professors. So as you can see, each student had a lot of support, and yeah, I think that was a really interesting part. Oh wait, yeah. So let me show you a little bit of the results. So we had 14 undergrad students who did the online methodology training. That was in summer 2024. Basically, they had during these classes, they had to create their proposal, their research proposal. And at the end, these 14 students were evaluated, and we chose the 5 students who participate in the research. But these 14 students had the opportunity to learn step by step how to build a strong proposal and research proposals. And some of the students that didn't were chosen for for the final five, they continue their using their research proposal to do their research, but they change like the area, right, to a closer area. Then 10 students were part of the English classes. They had 2 semesters, reaching level A1, which is really, really important because usually English is one of the weakest part in these Amazonian universities. So we really think that this part was really, really important for them. And the same 5 students were doing field work in the research area. And these are our 5 selected students for this cohort. We have them, they were from different disciplines, from environmental engineering to systems engineering, public accounting, biology, and sustainable tourism. So yeah, they went through like a very rigorous evaluation. We didn't evaluate them. We had like outside evaluators who evaluate the proposals, and to have like these 5. So here, just a really quick, I want to show how each team were built. So you can see you have the student, the mentor, the UF mentor, the external mentor, the Yerwape tutor, and as I mentioned before, the community leaders and the community-based institutions who were part of their research. This research team number 1 were focused on birds and how focusing on bird watching could be a good a source of economic in these areas that have been affected by the hydroelectric power plants. The second one, again, same structure, making sure that the community was involved, but they also had like the support of researchers who has the expertise to guide the students. In this case, this student, she mentioned that for her was the first time that she was doing field work and had contact with communities and with people, and she was more like a computer person. She is the one who's studying the computer field. So she said, like, it was my first time. It was hard at the beginning, but with the support of the team, I was able to go through, to do the interviews, to talk with people, to help other kids, to have this experience on how is like going to the field and be in touch with people and not just working in your computer. But yeah, so it was very nice to hear that that it was like this something extra for her. This research team 3 was focused on fish and fisheries and how the fish have been affected by the hydroelectric dams. Then the research team 4 were more focuses on an evaluation on how the Amazonian had been affected by the dams in the Alto Madera region. Then we have the 5th one, was more focused on agroforestry. The OCMA, the Organización Comunal de la Mujer Amazónica, they've been doing a lot of work, not just in socializing information about the environmental effects of the hydroelectric dams, but also a lot of work in how to introduce agroforestry plots. So basically what she did was work with OCMA and did an evaluation on how these agroforestry plots had been had been good for them or not, and then she prepared a financial sustainability guide for them to improve the economic assessment in their plots. Then here we have our 3 UF mentors who went to the University of to the Universidad Amazónica de Pando. It was great because they did, different trainings, but also they were part of the fieldwork. They went with the students and do the fieldwork, and the students learn how to really do the fieldwork. For the 5 of them, it was the first time that they were do like field work. So having them, these 3 so having these researchers with them was really good for the students. We also have the visit from for the Dr. Stephen Peirce. He also went during the summer. He had like different meetings. He talked with the students. He held them to clarify some questions, and it was also great for them to meet someone from the team here in the UF. And last semester, the student had the opportunity to do a Tropilunch when they share their preliminary results. At that time, they were like finishing, writing their thesis and their final report. So they were able to share with you guys what they've been done, and they were like very nervous. We prepared a lot. We had like maybe 4 or 5 meetings before, each of them talking again and again, rehearsing the presentation and refining the presentations. So it was a great experience for them, and they really liked that. They were very nervous, but after that they were like, yes, it was so great. And here you could see all the students defending their final presentation, their thesis. Now they graduated, they are licenciados, ingenieros, and 2 of them landed good jobs in NGOs in there, and others are still, looking for their path. But yeah, I think this is really great, and they were really grateful, and yeah, they learned a lot. And in this summer, we did the final symposium. This was a hybrid open symposium at UAP, where the students, they weren't students anymore. They were like the ingenieros and licenciados. They were presenting their final results. I mean, their research. They developed research posters, but also their presentation. We have people from here, from the UF participating online, and yeah, it was a great event. Seeing these students grow up a lot during the process has been really rewarding. So now I'm gonna give the word to my colleague Cecilia Sanginés, so she will explain a little bit about the field work experience. Cecilia, ¿estás por ahí?
Sí, gracias Marlliz. Qué lindo estar acá y ver algunas caras conocidas. Betty, ¿eres tú, la de Celeste? Qué bueno, qué bueno. Bueno, al grano. Yo les voy a comentar en español, disculpen, lo referente al trabajo de campo, ¿no? Siguiente slide. El trabajo de campo ha sido todo un reto, ¿no? Porque hemos tenido que coordinar tanto con la comunidad, con los directores de estos grupos de comunidades, con doña Lidia Ochma, que dirige un gran grupo que dirige acciones sobre muchas comunidades en el Alto Madera, y gracias a relaciones de proyectos anteriores se ha podido facilitar todo esto, ¿no? El hecho de que hayan venido acá investigadores de la Universidad de Florida ha sido todo un reto y ha sido, pienso yo, con resultados excelentes, ¿no? Ahí siguiente. Ok, uno de los de las características de nuestro trabajo ha sido el mapeo participativo. La idea no solamente era recoger información en las diferentes comunidades, que cada estudiante haga el levantamiento de información, sino que se haga un mapeo participativo con la mayor cantidad posible al menos de personas de esas comunidades, sobre todo que esté mesa directiva, presidentes, personas que estén de muchos años viviendo en esas comunidades, que nos ayuden a entender la realidad y así no estar cayendo tal vez en falsa información, ¿no? Cada estudiante, los 5 estudiantes han levantado información, en algunos casos se han ayudado, han ido en parejitas, han ido con nosotros. La verdad es que se han comportado muy bien y la comunidad, por su lado, gracias a esta ayuda de estas organizaciones, nos han recibido con los brazos abiertos. Cabe mencionar que las comunidades amazónicas son, vale decir, muy abiertas, ¿no? A la investigación, a los visitantes, tal vez un poco diferenciado de otras regiones de Bolivia, ¿no? Siguiente. Algo que fue bastante, muy lindo, uno de los jóvenes llevó cámaras, con la ayuda de Andrés León también, cámaras de muy alta precisión, y donde no solamente ellos han hecho su trabajo de campo, sino han dejado que muchos niños aprecien su propia fauna, las propias aves, mirando a través de estos telescopios, miroscopios, y porque tal vez ellos mismos no podían reconocer la belleza de un ave ya que estaba muy lejos, fue una interacción muy bonita con la comunidad, ¿no? Siguiente. Em, Otra de las investigaciones tenía que ver con los sistemas agroforestales en dos comunidades de Amazonía, del Alto Madera, y los jóvenes han caminado senderos bastante largos, se han soleado y han podido recopilar información de primera fuente con las personas que están encargadas de esas áreas donde se hace este tipo de combinación de diferentes frutales, maderables y también plantas menores, ¿no? Siguiente. Ok, algo para resaltar es que el foco de la mayoría de las investigaciones estaban en la ribera del río Madera o río Beni, que es afluente del río Madera, y teníamos el foco en la pesca, ese era nuestro foco inicial, ¿no? Y cualquier actividad que sea aledaña a esta actividad. Algo que, aparte de la disminución de pesca que hemos podido evidenciar en campo, ha sido que el aumento de dragas auríferas se ha hecho notar. En visitas anteriores eran muy escasas, ahora es muy común que los comuneros tengan por lo menos una balsa pequeña, si no es que se junten muchas más para extraer oro, ¿no? Es algo muy preocupante que pudimos notar en esta visita y que tal vez sea temas de futuras investigaciones. Em, Algo muy lindo, como les mencioné, es la participación de la comunidad. En la foto central podemos ver, por ejemplo, a Daniel con dos de las señoras que eran dueñas entre comillas, porque lo que ellos tienen son como tierra en préstamo o en calidad de préstamo, donde ellos implementan grandes extensiones de siembra y se benefician de estas áreas, ¿no? Pero ellos tienen que hacer un buen manejo. Entonces fueron con Daniel, con Daisy, visitaron, sacaron fotos, fueron con Sinomar Fonseca, se pidieron todo el día y pudieron recabar toda la información, hicieron mediciones de transectos, mediciones de las plantas, fotografías, encuestas, ¿no? Y la verdad es que la comunidad se abrió mucho con nosotros, es algo que tenemos que agradecer. Eso por mi parte, si hay preguntas después, con gusto se responden. Gracias, Marlliz.
Muchas gracias, Ceci. Thank you very much. Ceci, she was great during the project, doing a lot of great things with the students and coordinating with the UAP too. So now I'm going to show you a little bit of the program final products. Well, the students again. This picture was taken in Cachola Esperanza. It's a very nice picture. Cachola Esperanza is a historical town, and yeah, I love this picture. So here you can see the final report to the students. From the project, we just asked them to give us a final report. We didn't give them any format because we really want this final report help them, to be the basis or help them for their final thesis, right? For their final document. And each faculty in the UAP, they have their own format. So as a final report, we accept any of the format that the Universidad will approve. So at the end, we have like these 5 final reports, and you can see like the name of all the students, their titles, and as I mentioned before, it was really rewarding to see this document. It was Great. Then they create their research posters based on their researchers. These posters were presented in the symposium. So they will have like this space where people will go and ask questions. So for most of them, for the students, actually for all of them, it was the first time that they were developing these posters. So it was a great experience. Then these are the community products. As I mentioned before, these community products were asked for the communities. We talk with OCMA, we talk with Convida, with the leaders, and we ask them, what do you want from this? What document will be able to help you in some way or another? Because when we did our preliminary studies there, we found that there is like a gap of information in many different things. So the communities and OCMA and Doña Lidia, they start, analyzing, and then they said, okay, for the La Castaña, we want this Zafra de Castaña and how we can continue having all these revenues from the Castaña based on how much Castaña we have left. And for example, in the case of the aves, of the bird, the community won a touristic route, and the students developed this guide with all the birds that they were able to see, but also they cross-reference that information with other lists. So the students were able to create a very extensive guide of birds from Cacho La Esperanza y Puerto Consuelo 1. At this point, all these documents are being processed in the printer. The Universidad Amazónica de Pando, they have their own imprenta, and they are going to be the ones who are going to print these documents. Then also we have el folleto informativo, talking about all what an hydroelectric is and what are their impacts on the fish and fisheries at that point in a specific. And then we have a guide of the agroforestry cost on the production. It's not just telling them, hey, you should do this or that. Is also like evaluating what they have so far and how they can improve in order to have more revenue, but also taking care of the land. And then the fifth one was related to the memorandum de entendimiento. So it's been a lot of contradictions for the binational hydroelectric dam in this area. It's a very, very controversial topic, and the communities, they wanted to understand what this memorandum of entendimiento is and what it's for, and so they developed this explanatory little booklet for them to understand what is that. And I think that these community products are really important. In our first cohort, we developed some similar products. And until now, whenever OCMA or Convida, they go to international events or local events, they are always carrying these documents, and they say, this is what is going on in our land, in our territory. So now they have information for them to show that what are, and to show that whatever they are feeling or seeing in their territory is really happening. Because before they will say, hey, there is a reduction on fish and fisheries, but then the government will say, okay, so how do you know that? They ask for proof, and in some point these are proof. We know that there is a lot of things to do, and there is a lot of need also that needs to be covered, but this is just granito de arena that will help them to have more information about their own area. And this is our book, our special issue, and for that I wanna invite my colleague Victor. Victor, are you there? So he is one of the editors, and he is gonna talk briefly about it. I'm not
Buenos
sure.
días, no sé si es que logran verme.
Sí, sí, te vemos.
Perfecto. No sé qué es mejor, si es que puedan tratar de entender mi español o tal vez sea más difícil que traten de entender mi inglés. Pero bueno, voy a hacerlo en español y voy a tratar o puedo hacerlo así como en Miami, hacerlo híbrido entre Spanglish. Sí, I could do that. Like going to the fiesta. But anyway, it's okay. This is a special issue. Last time we had another special issue, and really thank you, Marlliz and the team, for inviting me to be part of this experience for a second time, and I really enjoy and appreciate. And it's been a really challenge to work in different times. As you understand, the timing it's challenging because not all the students do their reviews at the time needed, and the editors and the authors and the advisors, it's really hard to actually work. And I really have to praise Marlliz and the team, just pushing and trying to have all these products come into a final draft, then at the final edition. As you can see, this book is very comprehensive of what has been done in the whole program. The first part is the introduction. I mean, it's you could see in the index, and it just shows what we have been doing or what the program has been doing in general. Could you go to the next one? Thank you. The most important is we try to have all the products, the final products from the students in the article form, scientific article form. And that was a challenge for all the advisors and for the students to try to understand the part of a real, original article for any magazine. It was complicated. I think it was find the way. I really have to thank we have to thank all the advisors and the authors that will actually put a lot of hours, and with the students and the external reviewers for every one of the articles. The first, as you can see in the titles before, and I'm sorry, I'm using my cell phone and a computer here because I am in a different office. The first one about the infraestructura hidroeléctrica and justicia ambiental. It was, it was an excellent job. All they are excellent job. Aviturismo and impactos socioambientales. I have to actually acknowledge that a lot of information has been done in this process, and in a way how to program tries to actually teach the students is very, very important, because they have no experience writing, they have no experience knowing editorial processes, they have no experience reading scientific material, and this program gives them the opportunity to do that. The other two, it's cultivar con diversidad and the castaña como motor de desarrollo. And as been saying, they actually learn more than they learn in their thesis. Their thesis, it's one format, and to do an original paper, as you all know, it's completely different, and you have to follow a specific rules to do that, and I learn a lot. And as a team, we learn a lot, and we share a lot about the editorial processes that in Bolivia we still lack of that. I am part of the Red Boliviana de Editores de Revistas Científicas, and we are learning a lot about how to do it properly, a lot of challenges there. I want to go through the last two articles. I don't know if we are there. Oh, thank you. Lecciones aprendidas. And I think Andrea will talk a little bit about lecciones aprendidas and más allá del que, nuevas prioridades. I think these two pieces are really important, and it follows the first one, trying to understand and trying to discuss and reflect what was the problem and what we learned in this process and how we could continue. And I think that's the most important, or one of the most important contributions of this book. And I think that that will be really, or probably Andrea wants to share some comments on the part of the lessons learned. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you for all your help and your hard work on this. Andrea, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you.
Next one. Okay. Thank you, Marlliz, and thank you to all the team and to Betty, who is in the room as well, because this was really, I think it was a learning experience for everybody involved. And I would say kind of like specifically, like we started to run the project or go to the field. I would say maybe during the last month of the project itself, of the life of the project. This means that we had kind of like about 2.5 years of doing or dealing with more administrative challenges and issues kind of like between the different institutions that are involved, and if we are going to be doing kind of like signing agreements, memorandum of understandings, how the budget is going to be transferred, who is going to be managed. And it was kind of like very complex. And this meant as well that we had to really run at the end and in other words, kind of like hit the ground running while we were kind of like dealing with all the logistics and changing as well timeframes. Because we had like this little time, like the students were in the field like maybe 2 weeks before we had to stop expand like using the money. So that was kind of like really a run. But at the same time, I would say that just kind of like looking as well into what we did with the project, and that the funders, they give you kind of like 18 months to be done with a participatory action research project that really needs a lot of complex understanding and trust building as well, and managing through everything. I think that is the lessons learned. So today we're presenting the products, but I think the process itself is kind of like the most successful product, I would say, because we try to navigate through these challenges and kind of like, I think the way that I see it is kind of like, although like we were all kind of, the whole team was already doing a lot of other things, and we just kind of like learned that we needed to be consistent and persistent, those kind of like two, and as well, of course, flexible and creative to get this done, to be done kind of like with the products, because at the end, it's kind of like just having, even though I would say the products are not the perfect product at the end, but it represents kind of like this process of trust building, of doing kind of like this different type of participatory, transdisciplinary work with communities to provide kind of like different type of solutions. I think that's the main lessons learned that I would say, and we try kind of like to put it as well in the publication. And if you want to go to the next one, Marlliz. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that was kind of like, yes, continue being kind of like really open to these type of processes that can be very frustrating for everybody. But if you don't do it, even if you're just kind of like having like a very small amount of success at the end, it represents a huge amounts of success for the regional universities. And I think that's kind of like very important, that no pain, no gain, but that's how it is kind of like with these type of examples, initiatives, and products. But I think we all as a team grew and just kind of like to know how to navigate through challenges and to these type of processes, it's already a huge gain. And I think I will leave it up. I don't know if Marlliz, you want to add something else?
No, I think you covered it all, Andrea. Thank you very much. I want to thank all my colleagues here who agreed to join me today, because I really want to show that this is not me, it's not Marlliz, it's like all of us, and even more than that. So, and I think we are right on time. So I'm going to stop there and give the people the opportunity to ask questions if they have some. Thank you very much.